This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Well, this will be the last time we join you for Wyoming Sports Talk Today this week because it's tournament time. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. We do want to let you know that our program today is being brought to you by Marv's Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue. Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Again, Joe and his great staff invite you to come on by and, well, first and foremost, what they're famous for, their pizza. Again, the delicious, fresh ingredients always put onto the pie. The bread is always fresh. Speaking of bread, they make fresh bread daily for those delicious sandwiches and so much more over at Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. At 1508 Stillwater Avenue, banking done the old-fashioned way, customer service each Monday through Friday. You'll find our good friends over at First Tier Bank, Lennox Auto Body, with 2 locations for you. The Auto and Truck Repair Center with a plethora of bays over on Dunn Avenue. And, of course, they have for you the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. Medicare Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. And again, see the wonderful staff over there like I did yesterday. They are great. And again, with your doctor's prescription, let them fill those medications for you properly and explain those meds to you over at Medicap Pharmacy. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations. See Rick and the gang over on Vanda High. You can see them on the east side as well over at the corner of College and Pershing. Platte Valley Bank open Monday through Friday. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. How would you look behind the wheel of a 2019? Well, only you'll know when you go out there and take a test drive because the lot has some good-looking Kias for this year's model year on the floor and even in the showroom floor, I should say. Also, they have some select 18s that need to go, and you can save some big bucks today by shopping at Kia of Cheyenne. Chick-fil-A at the corner, Windmill and Delrange, 3 squares are served up Monday through Saturday. That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if you haven't sampled their breakfast menu, get a good hot cup of coffee there, and you can do it all, even from their, their chicken biscuit. They have their hash brown scrambles. I'm telling you, their breakfast menu is loaded over at Chick-fil-A, right across from Menards at the corner of Windmill and Delrange. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30. It is the premier home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, and travel trailers, and you'll find some sensational steals of deals going on right now at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. Taco John's, we want to thank them. They got some great promotions going on right now, including their 6-pack and a pound and some other good stuff as well. So check out what Taco John's has on the menu today and take advantage of. Well, I think they have their fish and shrimp special going on right now. If I'm not mistaken, they got their quesadillas. Just check out the menu. You'll know what I'm talking about when you go to Taco John's of Cheyenne. And we get our program underway with our scoreboard. It's brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
NHL action for tonight. Toronto Maple Leafs at home playing host to the Edmonton Oilers. We will also see the New Jersey Devils at home. They will take on the Calgary Flames. Tampa Bay Lightning will travel to New York City to the Madison Square Garden to see the Rangers. Colorado Avalanche at home at Pepsi Center will play host to the Vancouver Canucks, and the Chicago Blackhawks travel all the way to Anaheim to see the Ducks at Honda Center. That's what's happening. NHL action for tonight.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We got collegiate hoops tonight with the Cowboys in Fresburg, California.
Yeah, and whatever with the Cowboys. Yeah, but that one, yeah.
The Cowgirls, as they're looking to make it, 10 in a row?
Well, they have a shot to vault over one New Mexico team as they're tied right now with the Lady Lobos if, for whatever reason, New Mexico loses. But, yes, a big one coming up tonight against Fresno State, a team that is behind them at least a few games there in the Mountain West.
Lady Bulldogs, a team that they have beaten earlier in
a team
California.
They need to beat to separate themselves from the Lady Bulldogs.
And it looks like conditions are going to be great for a good encounter tonight with the
Starts
Cowgirls
at 6:30.
and the Lady Bulldogs. So do check it out tonight in the AA. Now on the NBA scoreboard, it'll be the Rockets and the Hornets for tonight. Timberwolves will face the Hawks, Wizards and the Nets in the Barclays Center. Brooklyn Warriors and the Heat in American Airlines Arena in the Southland FedEx Forum. In Memphis, Tennessee, we'll have the Grizz and the Bulls, Trailblazers and the Celtics in the TD Garden. Pistons, Spurs in the AT&T Center in San Antonio. American Airlines Center in Dallas. We'll have the Mavericks hosting the Pacers. It is a full slate tonight. Clippers and the Jazz in the Vivint Smart Home Arena in Salt Lake City. At the Golden One Center in Sacramento, the Sacramento Kings and the Bucks. And the Pelicans and the Lakers tonight.
Yeah, that's prime time.
Yeah, really.
I don't know why they're showing that garbage game, but...
Well, because they think with Anthony Davis and LeBron, it's going to be a ratings grabber. Wrong answer. That'll be at Staples tonight in Los Angeles. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
Sports Talk Today. Larry Prawdy, along with the Nixter, as we have a shortened program on our side of the fence because we will have the LCCC Coaches Show coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Brian Ortmeier is always from 4 until 4:30. Is he bringing a player with him?
No.
Okay, so we got him solo. And again, we'll get a good chance to wrap with him about Central Wyoming College because he's starting to become very familiar with that outfit, as they will have them coming up on Friday evening in the first round of the Region 9 Northern Playoffs. And we also have Jason Ficca coming up with Daequan Spragion. We haven't introduced
you. Remember?
We haven't had a chance to introduce you yet to the freshman guard from Brooklyn, New York. So he will be in on the second half of
I don't
that
know why
interview.
you say it's shortened program. It's still 2 hours of Wyoming Sports Talk Today, but on that second half, it's just the LCCC Coaches Show. Simple as that. I don't know why you got to make everything convoluted.
No, they talk more than we do. So
I would hope so.
It'll be
I'd rather listen to them than you.
And most people would rather listen to me than you.
I don't know. I don't know the email that I got yesterday. There was someone that was at least reaching out to me who was happy to hear at least how he put it, my show. I like that.
Your show? Okay.
I thought that was pretty nice.
Well, good. Then I
Either way.
can go on home. I'll see you later. Enjoy the program.
No, please. It's not like you do anything here either way. But anyways, I also, too, with LCCC, the Coaches Show coming up, at least for us with LCCC, as they are in the first round of playoffs, letting people know about that. Thanks for cracking your neck there.
That felt good.
Good audio. Either way, though, LCCC in action, at least of the women's side, a game that we will cover only visually, will be this Friday, 7 o'clock here in town over at the Rack with the LCCC Lady Golden Eagles playing host to the Central Wyoming Lady Rustlers. It is a battle of number 3 seed out of the north versus number 6 seed Central Wyoming. So looking forward to that contest. The men will be on the road Saturday. They will have a 5:30 tip-off there in Riverton against Central Wyoming, and again, versus LCCC. So we will not be able to cover the men's contest. We will cover the women's. Visual only on Periscope in the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. Now that leads to what's coming up for Class 4A on the East Regional, which gets underway tomorrow with myself and Chris Polton, as we'll be live at the Thunderdome as they are splitting games between Cheyenne East and Story Gymnasium, as Cheyenne East is the host team for this, at least the 4A East Regional tournament this season. We will only have girls action coming up tomorrow, 3 games, as we're not going to split times, especially since games are being played at the same time as each other on both the boys and girls side. So we will be over at the Thunderdome. 3 o'clock is when we'll get started with everything, with the Central High Lady Indians taking on the Sheridan Lady Bronx, followed up by at 4:30, at least tentative schedule, will be Cheyenne East, the Lady Thunderbirds, who will play host in Trona County, the Lady Phillies, and then take a break, let Thunder Basin and Laramie play, and then we'll come back at 7:30, or again, tentative time, 7:30, to see Cheyenne South, the Lady Fighting Bison, take on Campbell County, the defending 4A state champion, Lady Camels.
It's a busy Thursday.
That's just day one.
And then Friday gets busier. We did decide some things today for Friday as well as Saturday. As we'll continue on our Friday schedule with the
how about this for the regional tournament? We're going to follow the championship, the championship bracket to decide seeds 1 and 2. So we'll cover all those games now with the loser bracket.
We'll catch the 3 and 4 if one of our teams is involved.
Yeah, again, where that will be on Saturday to determine who will be the 3 or 4 seed if those teams, again, out of Cheyenne, make it down to there, at least make it that far on both the girls and boys side. So again, we will cover at least exclusively the championship bracket, and also too that 3 and 4 playing game to decide who is going to be in the state tournament coming up next week in Casper.
We could be basketball indefinite on Friday. Starting at 9 a.m. And I could go all the way to 9 p.m.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, 9 a.m. would be start for Friday. 9 a.m. also to start for Saturday as well too. So yeah, it's easier on us. It's easier on everybody. We'll just cover again.
And it's better for you to go out there and watch it and cheer on those teams that are coming through that bracket, if there are any. And then hopefully, they make it to that 3rd, 4th place game. We'll be there for that.
But looking also, too, again, as we'll cover the girls. So tune in, 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com. Tomorrow, late afternoon, if not all the way into the evening, for, again, the 3 ladies teams, at least 3 high schools, Cheyenne South, Cheyenne East, and Cheyenne Central in action. For the boys, as their contest will be over at Story Gym, looking at a few of the matchups out there. Things will get underway at 3 o'clock with Thunder Basin taking on Laramie. After that, 4:30 will be Central High. The Indians will take on Campbell County, the defending 4A state champions on the boys' side. Right after that contest wraps up at 6 o'clock tentative, it will be Cheyenne South. They'll take on Sheridan, the Bronx. And then last but not least, Cheyenne East will take on Natrona County. So, again, a lot of high school hoops going on, boys and girls. Again, boys at Story Gym, girls action all day will be at Cheyenne East.
On the boys' side, East is the number 1 seed. So to speak.
Out of the South.
The number 2 seed would be...
Number 2 seed out of the South would be Central. Number 3 would be Laramie. And number 4 seed out of the South is Cheyenne South, who will take on the number 1 seed North out with Sheridan, the Bronx.
Now flip it over on the ladies' side. We have East as the number 1 seed.
East would be the number 1 seed. Central is the number 2 seed. So, again, both Central and East match up on the same seeding out of the South. The only flip is Cheyenne South is the 3 seed on the girls' side. Laramie is the 4 seed coming out.
And here's the thing, fans. About this year's tournament as opposed to years past. And again, for me, this is the first time, and I got here in '86, so this is the first time that we're seeing a double elimination.
Yeah, here's the difference between last year, where our first game over in Laramie for the regional tournament, we saw Cheyenne South get upset by Campbell County. Again,
a loser-out game.
Yeah, it was a loser-out game where Cheyenne South, unfortunately, had to say bye-bye, at least last year. Again, after only playing 1 game and getting at least upset, essentially, by Campbell County. Well, Cheyenne South, for whatever reason, or Cheyenne Central, Cheyenne East in this first day, it's not loser out. It is, you move down to the loser bracket. You now have a chance to fight for that 3 or 4 seed in state championship. It is essentially you need to lose minimum, or at least you only have 2 losses. They're given to you, and then you say bye-bye, at least for the season. So,
all right, well, let's keep it here. And again, not to be Mr. Negativity on this, but it's a first-year experiment. I'm venturing to say, wherever is at next year's regional.
I don't know.
This, unless there's 2 separate venues, you got a lot of problems, especially on day 1.
You could get away with it especially on the East Regional with Kelly Walsh and Casper. probably could get away with it in Gillette and Sheridan because, again, Sheridan probably was Sheridan College, essentially, where you could play at the Golden Dome along with Sheridan High School.
Now, correct
but
me if
also,
I'm
too,
wrong.
in Gillette, same with Gillette College, and maybe a split time between Thunder Basin and Campbell County high schools if you go to Gillette.
Yeah, but that's not.
But
the
also,
deal.
too,
you
again,
are the host team. You want to host all the games on your.
Well, guess
your
what?
site.
Here in Cheyenne East, it's not happening. They can't do it.
No, they can't, and we're lucky. All three schools have Story Gym to fall back on. Think about it. That's our nice little comfort zone. Laramie doesn't have that. Laramie has one venue.
Yeah, but Laramie took advantage of that. All games were played there at Laramie High School. I think if Cheyenne East could have that option, they would rather play all their games or at least have that host there at Cheyenne East if it's
but
possible.
Laramie didn't have the format that we had this year.
I get that.
So if it was at Laramie this year, it would be problems. And
I think if anything, you would have to work out with
the UW.
UW possibly, or find some other venue. It's something where I think it's not a big issue as what you're trying to make it out to be. But
I think it's a mess. I really do. I think it's.
I'm not happy with this format. I'll say that. But is it something that is going to be a mess?
It's
not
like getting a
necessarily.
participation ribbon. You lose tomorrow. Whoever loses, and hopefully it's all the teams that are coming to town that lose. But my point is, though, your season should be done. And then what you need to do is regroup and get ready for next year. But no, you're going to let them. Again, let's use this for an argument's sake, okay? Let's use South, the boys, because they've had a rough season this year.
Yeah.
Let's look at South as a team that loses tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. And there's probably a good chance against Sheridan.
And we'll wish them well that they win all the way through and get a chance to play in the third or fourth place game.
So that's where last year they wouldn't have that opportunity they're going to get this season. It is something where we talk to coaches, at least preseason. All of them, I would say, at least talking to them kind of on the fence about this, where, yes, if you do have a lower seed that does go down to that loser's bracket, they still have a shot to upset a team that might exit out or might have an off night possibly. It is something that could be a little bit scary. For instance, again, if South and East are to lose on the boys' side, South finds a way to get hot or at least upset that East team. There's your number one seed, your team that was kind of favored where they didn't really at the beginning have to worry about it. Well, granted, if they both lose, they would both have been out, but it's an interesting situation.
Again, and I guess from the high school side,
Because also, too, it is a situation where for Friday's games, if they lose, say East moves on, beats Natrona, then loses to whoever out of the Laramie or Thunder Basin contest, they move down to that loser's bracket. They take on a team that is advancing on through that loser's bracket, trying to play for 3 and 4. Again, they already have one loss.
And the number one seed could get bounced out.
Yeah.
See, before it used to be
automatic. On Friday, you were locked in.
Yeah. But again, it's just I'm not one that I don't mind change sometimes, but I think this is so screwbally that it gives teams an equal amount of games. Because in football, you don't get that. If you're the last two teams in Class 4A, you don't qualify for the playoffs.
Yeah, you don't get an option at all. But this is also, too, a bad format for our athletes here, at least locale-wise. Again, the main thing for these high school athletes is to move them on to JUCO ranks, D1, advance their careers to whatever, collegiate sport, possibly, again, with basketball. Guess what? JUCO doesn't do this. They don't give that other option. Again, Friday's contest and Saturday's contest for LCCC, it's
one and done.
You got to win or you're done. There are no other options in Region 9 tournament or any other tournament across, even for the Mountain West. If you are to move on to the Wyoming Cowboys, guess what? In the Mountain West, you got to play in that early round.
Most tournaments that are going to be held collegiately are one and dones. Yeah. I mean, like you said, you use the Mountain West as an example.
It's not good to acclimate, again, players who are trying to advance on their careers, try to go to that collegiate level of saying, well, it's not so bad if we lose today. It's not the end of the world. We have more shots at it. It's I get it, but also, too, it could be very bad as well.
Here's the other thing, too. It's called economics. You got teams from Sheridan are coming down. So, and let's use the Bronx, for example. So the Bronx lose Thursday, and
they would have to go straight back up to Sheridan.
And they have to go back to Sheridan. So they have to come down to two separate buses, boys and girls. because the girls will be here. They're going to stay if they win.
Yeah, that's true.
So, or they don't play until Friday, whatever the case may be. So it's based on economics more than it is on, hey, wow, you lost, but you still got a shot. Because, again, hotel rooms are going to be filled with teams from Sheridan, Gillette, Laramie obviously won't have to do it, and Casper.
Yeah.
So, and you're bringing down both your girls and boys' teams. So, again, travel together, so to speak, or a couple of buses, and then you room
but is
for
this
at least a couple
is this
days.
a Wyoming thing, or are they doing this also too in Colorado with 5A and 4A? Are they doing that in Montana? Are they doing that in Nebraska?
This is the first time since the WAC football days I'm seeing the quadrant system again. We haven't had the quadrant system done. Again, this is the first year of doing this.
Yeah.
So Ron Laird and his think tank up there with the Wyoming High School Activity Association, they came with the brainchild. Obviously had to be voted on, and it was approved.
Well, and again, that also, too, if you think about it, is economics, where, again, for the 3 Cheyenne schools, only have to travel between here, again, you're taking on your local 3, and then Laramie, so you keep that locale. Up there in the north, or at least the northeast, Sheridan, the 2 Gillettes, and then Casper Kelly Walsh, at least for the next 2 years, and then when they move them out and bring back in, or at least Natrona, and then bring in Casper Kelly Walsh, on that. But it is obviously how they broke down those quadrants is to keep it that economic kind of style of, well, during the heat of the season, you're not constantly traveling down to Cheyenne. You only have the one road trip
now,
down.
correct me if I'm wrong. Next year we move out of this quadrant with Sheridan, Thunder Basin, Gillette, and Casper and Natrona. We don't take them on next year, don't we? Go over and go against the West teams next year?
I don't know about that. I have no idea. I've never heard about that.
Yeah, you don't play the same quadrant every year. It's your 4 core teams here, Laramie.
You're well ahead of me at this point.
Well, that's
in time
the way I understood it. I thought like next year we would have.
I'm focused on this season. You need to get to 2018.
Again, like I said, this is going to
2019.
be
Whatever
this is the first year of this. It seems to be obviously on paper. It looks like it's going to work out for us, and even our other friend that does. This is going to be a mess. It's almost like we can't be 2 places at once. It kind of tears us down the middle. But at least we got a working agreement so far between us, so that
for now.
Again, well, our deal here in our industry is to provide coverage of our teams when they're playing, whether it's here, whether it's on the road, or even in tournament time. Because again, not everybody can go up to Casper next weekend on Thursday or Friday, because we do work for a living. So a lot of folks will be depending on the radio to bring us the games.
Yeah.
So same thing here. Not everybody can go out to the games tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. Some people work till 5.
Yeah.
So they're dependent on the radio. But tomorrow you have the girls at one venue, you got the guys at one venue. Luckily, there's 2 of us that are bringing the action. So one can cover here, one can cover there without any difficulty. Well, it's kind of screwball-y. At least from my point
At least for Cheyenne, you should be lucky. Up in Casper, guess what? You got no one that's going to be covering those games, and that kind of leaves Casper, where they wouldn't have that luxury.
It leaves them in a lurch, yeah.
Yeah, so it is what it is at this point. But, again, a lot of basketball being played this weekend, and hopefully a lot of basketball played coming up next weekend at the state tournament up in Cheyenne.
Let's kind of handicap it. Let's handicap a little bit, because I have been – aside from like everybody else that has not been to a game because I've been busy with other commitments.
Oh,
come on! I've been reading about it and keeping on track with it. But let's go to the ladies' side.
You're telling me you haven't watched our broadcast? Thanks a lot, pal.
I watch your broadcast. I'm down on Saturday. I'll watch it.
Anyways,
but let's handicap on the ladies' side.
Handicap on the ladies' side. East is your top dog team. I think out of the East Regional. Right now, with Thunder Basin being number 1 on at least out of the North, yeah, they are a competitor.
Competitive, you mean?
Well, a competitor, at least potential to knock down East or at least win the East Regional outright. That is a good possibility for the Lady Bolts, but for Cheyenne East, for the Lady Thunderbirds, right now for East, at home in the Thunderdome, you are the host team. You got to be the favorite team going into this thing, absolutely. if they don't win this East Regional, I would be very surprised, to be honest.
I would also.
I don't foresee them losing to Natrona. Natrona has been a little down and out. Clearly, as they come in as the 4 seed out of the North, it would be a surprise if East does fall flat in that first game. I don't foresee it at all.
Right.
And again, moving on, where Campbell County versus Cheyenne South, at least those potential, whoever comes out of that wins. If East is to move on, they should take care of business against South. They've done it twice already. Again, taking care of business against the Lady Camels.
But it's in town. See, you never know what happens when you're in the host city. And again, even though it's Cheyenne East in the Thunderdome, it's still Cheyenne. So there's going to be good support for South out there tomorrow against the Lady Camels. It's interesting to note, though, with the Lady Indians and their last effort against Cheyenne East. And again, first off, to Coach Wessling at Cheyenne East. I mean, he just basically picked up where Rusty Horsley left off. So again, a tip of the cap to what Coach has done there. But again,
no surprise.
Coach Kirkbride has his Lady Indians playing solid basketball.
Yeah.
So they are one that you don't turn your back on.
It's good basketball, but in the regular season, it hasn't been good enough to take care of the behemoth that is the East Side Lady Thunderbirds. And is it something that East goes into this tournament a little kind of big-headed, essentially saying, hey, it's our tournament, it's our home venue, and we have nothing to worry about? I highly doubt that. I think Coach Eric Westling's going to have his team prepared for this for the next 3 days, but Central... I give them a puncher's chance, but it's going to be very tough to win that East Regional. Thunder Basin, like I said, is the team that is to keep an eye out of. They can compete with Cheyenne East. They could probably upset and take care of business and be that East Regional, at least champion. Right now, Cheyenne South, Lady Fight Bison under Chad DeBryan, I still think is that team that is a dark horse to watch out for. It's a team that is trying to, again,
they're still a year out.
It's a young team that has competed very well this year, and it could be for the South Lady Fight Bison. Do I foresee them defeating Campbell County? It's going to be a tough one. I could see it. I certainly could see it. But right now, the true thing for Cheyenne South is this going to be a team that is going to advance on to the state tournament? I think possibly. I think we have a good possibility on the girls' side to see all 3 local high schools, at least all 3 girls' teams, represent up there in Casper.
I would agree, but again, I think that Chad Bryant,
I think East is a lock, Central is a lock, South is that team on the girls' side where I could see either way, but I lean more.
They're the X factor.
They are the X factor, but I lean more of what we've seen out of Cheyenne South and Lady Fight Bison. I believe in this team can get it done, whether it is moving down to that losers bracket and competing for 3 or 4 out of the East Regional. I think they can. I really do. I think I have more confidence on the girls' side that we'll have 3 teams representing for Cheyenne on that side than I do, however, on the boys' side.
I'm going to go with 2, and the reason is I think, and I said this at the beginning of the year, I think the Lady Bison are, and the improvements have been just phenomenal.
It's been a vast improvement, and it makes for Chad DeBryan, you should be more excited that this core is still staying with you, getting a year older as well too. That Cheyenne South for next season, as much as we need to focus on here in 2019, but for next season for Cheyenne South, that is a team to keep a very close eye on.
Absolutely, and again, like I said, it's going to be a tough road to hoe, basically, for the Lady Fighting Bison. Central, it's not going to be an easy trip as well. They'll be more. I think they're going to be more competitive. And East, if East just focuses on what they got to do, and they have been throughout the course of the season.
East is that team that has target on their back again for both boys and girls, and it is something where every team is gunning for them. Every team's going to give them 110%. But is it going to be of Natrona, Campbell County, South, Laramie, Thunder Basin, Sheridan, Central? Are one of those teams going to be able to make them slip up, though, here in town with their hosts kind of tournament? I don't foresee it. I don't foresee it.
Yeah, it's tough. You would think this tournament is East to win on the ladies' side.
I think absolutely.
Yeah, all right. Well, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to size up the guys after we come back after these words right here on 1480 KRAE.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480KRAE.com.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
It's said that membership has its rewards, and at First Education Federal Credit Union, that is especially true. At First Education, members are the owners and get lower loan rates, higher yields on deposits, full online services including a mobile app, and more. We are personalized banking your way, local and a member of the Cheyenne community since 1947. Call 432-7400, go to firstedfcu.com, or visit in person at 120 West Carlson Street. Membership eligibility required, federally insured by NCUA.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 43. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 28 and winds out the southwest at 10 to 15. On Thursday, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 49. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 28.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
As we are trying to handicap, size up the regional tournament here on the east side for Class 4A, which begins tomorrow. And again, looking at the top seed, the Lady Thunderbirds right now, yes, you would have to, and with it being in their venues, the Thunderdome as well as Story Gym, you kind of have to stamp them as the team to beat. And the thing that I like about the Lady Thunderbirds, they have been pretty much just cool, calm, and collected throughout the course of the year. They've played just really steady basketball. They've had one young lady in the Buell kid step up and be that scoring leader, so to speak, for Lady Thunderbirds, but it's been a total team effort where they have been on top. Now you go over to the guys' side. Here's where I'm at with the guys' side. This thing is open-ish for about 3-4 teams to possibly come away as the number one seed.
I would say for both boys and girls, East has got to be the favorite on both sides. There's no doubt about it that for the Thunderbirds and Lady Thunderbirds, yes, they should be in that championship game.
But the boys were taken to task here recently by Central.
I get that.
And
again,
Central
as they went to overtime.
I know, but Central might be that team ready to snap out of that cocoon because they're playing solid basketball, not great basketball. They're playing solid
guess what?
Basketball.
Central, in order to see East, has got to go through a few teams to get in that championship game. So
I understand.
Again, where they'll see Campbell County, and then if they move on past the Camels, they'll see the winner of Sheridan and Cheyenne South. Again, Sheridan is the number one team out of the North. Again, a good outfit as well, too, for the Bronx. So they're going to be tested before they see Cheyenne East if both of those teams make it to the championship round on Saturday.
But again, also, it's not the North. We're in the South, and you all see a different tournament, and as many tournaments that I've called over the years. If it's down in this part of the world, the locals seem to fare a little bit better. They'll come out with a better seeding.
I'm just saying, you still need to see the number one team out of the North. Sheridan is a team that does well no matter where they are.
Yeah.
I sell the Bronx short. They can probably handle Cheyenne Central if they meet up in that second round on Friday. I think absolutely so. Again, they have been that respectable number one team out of the Northeast for quite some time. So it's to be determined of what's going to happen. I think for Cheyenne East, it is a team that absolutely should make it to the championship round. I think, again, of handicapping right now for both boys and girls, those are the two teams that have to be the favorites. Absolutely. Okay. There's no question about it. Where they play consistent, good basketball. They found ways to overcome. They found ways to, again, get that game, or at least get out of that overtime with Cheyenne Central this past Friday and win.
They adapted, they improvised.
And they won, though.
Yeah.
They got it done.
And again,
they've been getting it done whatever way it case may be.
And Eric Oliver has, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it was our broadcast that mentioned that he now eclipsed James Johnson's scoring.
Yeah, it was us.
Yeah, so the thing is with Eric Oliver, and again, matter of fact, you were in school the same time that James Johnson was. So again, putting up these humongous numbers, and if I'm not mistaken, that year, your senior year or junior year, they won the championship. East I-1, they beat Central. So you're looking at the T-Birds. There's a chance for them to get back to that big dance, and again, they're bringing a loaded arsenal with them. I mean, they are loaded for bear. Even off the bench. This is what you have to like about the Thunderbirds. They've got the depth.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about it, especially with Buell as well, too.
And now that he's at about 100% now.
Roughly. I would assume, he's a lot better. Yeah.
That foot injury that he had from football. But then again, you look at Central, and I think a lot more was expected of Central, maybe from me. But, it was growing pains for the Indians. Again, your main guy in the middle, Lawson Lovering, I would say, has really picked up his game. Again, he's only 15 years old.
Yeah, only a sophomore.
And he's playing with a mixture of sophomores and veterans.
But Central was a team early on in the season that was relying on Lawson Lovering to put the weight of the world on his shoulders, and it wasn't working for the Central High Indians. Now, evolving into it and what we saw this past Friday there at Story Gym, Central is a completely different team of, all right, let's ease it back off of Lawson. Let's not rely everything on him as much as he's going to put up, at least attempt to put up 25 points, again, a good amount of points for the Central High Indians, and again, rebounds, assists, all those fun little stats. But it is a Central High team under Tag Lane that has realized, hey, we need to get a little pressure off of him because, again, he's going to get spotlighted on that court, kind of what we see with LCCC and one David Applegren, where he gets...
They collapse down on him.
Collapse 3-4 players on top of him. Well, now we need other pieces around him to at least help out. Take that ball away from him, get points on the board, and kind of ease a little tension off of him. And Central has been able to do that so far here at the tail end. And I think, again, it is showing to be a winning formula. How far that winning formula will take Central High is to be determined, obviously, here in the East Regional. But I think coming up with, again, their first round against Campbell County, again, defending 4A state champions on the boys' side, I would say, yes, I think Central absolutely could take care of business.
Yeah, you would like to send the Camels down to that losers bracket,
but I think Central could take care of business. Now, looking at least another contest between the number 1 seed out of the North Sheridan, number 4 seed out of the South would be Cheyenne South. Again, for Jeff Bailey and the South High Fighting Bison, it's been a rough year. It has been a very rough year. It was to be expected of what happened. Again, this is a very young team, just like the Lady Fighting Bison were last year. They are in that growing pain. At least
it's a rebuild.
It is essentially a rebuild for Cheyenne South. You pull for them. Hopefully they take care of Sheridan, but it's going to be a tall task. It is going to be for Cheyenne South. That has got to be a 100% clean game, a perfect game that you got to play to basically upset Sheridan Bronx coming up in that first round.
And that's just going to be probably too much for the Fighting Bison. But again, stranger things happen. The thing that's different about this year, as opposed to years in the past, if you were a number 1 and 2 seed, and that's how you finish in the standings, you had Thursday off. You didn't play until Friday.
Yeah, you got the bye. Instead, now you got to play 3 full games for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to make it to, at least to make it a state tournament. So there's no bonus to be number 1 or 2.
Yeah, there's no, you could have gone through the season with a perfect record. There's no more clinching. All you clinched was a number 1 seed.
And again, for Sheridan, that could be an argument of where, hey, we had a great season and we still got to play on this Thursday game to potentially be upset by a Cheyenne South team. Yeah. And who knows? Could it happen? Possibly.
East, again, the Lady Thunderbirds.
Well, even on the boys' side with Natrona County, who have been very down and out on the, at least there in the Northeast, maybe East just has a lackadaisical kind of mood, has at least an off day.
Hey, I've seen at state tournaments where the Thunderbirds have come in.
How about last year at the state tournament where I told you exactly what was going to happen, where they played those games again at Kelly Walsh, and Kelly Walsh got the upset victory against East. It can absolutely happen.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I've seen in my years here more with East because they have been pretty much most of basketball powers as far as top seeds going into a lot of the state tournaments. And I've seen them bring great teams in there, and boom, first day, they're knocked down into the Constellation Championship.
So again, all high seeds have pressure on them, whether it is, again, number ones with Sheridan and East. Yeah, there certainly is, where you're not handed that bye, which, again, you can argue against or make up your own kind of grievances about that. Hey, I feel your pain, but right now for Thursday, anything and everything possibly could happen.
Well, and again, the reward. See, this is why I'm kind of not thrilled about this new format because
the reward for Cheyenne East, who has a phenomenal year, you might not even have a shot to even make it to state. There's no guarantee.
Yeah, and you should be rewarded for having a good conference season.
Or overall, which is East against Sheridan.
Well, I wouldn't go with the overall. Well, you can stack the deck on that, but your conference season, you should have some type of reward in place. However, with this new format, you could be adios in 2 games. If you happen to have a cold shooting night, who knows?
Again, it goes back to how flawed this tournament is a bit that was put in place this season. It is not the perfect system. Clearly, it isn't. Again, it does not help out those higher seeds who do fare well, but it is what it is. Hey, they get a taste of what's to expect in in the NBA of saying, hey, Golden State, you're a number 1 seed. You still got to play that number 8 team to potentially get upset. And it does happen. We saw it with a number 8 seeded Golden State team defeating the Dallas Mavericks, again, almost over a decade ago. But it's something where for high school, though, of what the system was last year, in my opinion, last year's system, what we saw at Laramie, or at least how it's been, was probably the better system. You reward those teams that did well during the conference, who are your top seeds out of those, at least, areas.
Right.
You gave them that bye, gave them that guarantee that they earned, and I think that's the key word, is they earned that opportunity to go to state and earn that bye because of how well they did during the regular season. And it was also, too, of, hey, kind of like with the Mountain West tournament of where Wyoming's going to be. Hey, you're going to have to play in that first day games
the ever lovely Pigtail series, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying of where you got to play in to fight in. If you are one of these lower seeds, you got to earn it to move on to state, at least to the state tournament.
And see, and years ago, and not even years ago, maybe a couple of years ago, they were trying to eliminate that, if I'm not mistaken, that 9, the 8 through 11 series, 8, 9, 10, and 11. They were going to eliminate that and just go with the tournament, 1 through whatever.
Yeah.
I can't remember how it was set up. But again, I think it was the coaches that voted that down. It was brought up by, the Mountain West Conference. But in this situation here, and I know we need to take a break and we're going to get to it, but what bothers me with this is that we got 6 teams that we brought in from the original 10 that made up the Class 4A for this quadrant system for basketball. So to bring these teams in, you had to throw a little more frosting on the cake. Hey, this is the way we're going to format the playoffs. So you're at least going to get 2 games instead of a one and done in your current conference that you were in.
Tomorrow is going to be the telltale on both boys and girls of how this system is operated, how well this system is going to be, and granted, nothing is going to be perfect, but this tournament style feels like it's taken a step backward for high school basketball.
And to me, if it goes, and it should go according to Hoyle, I'd be kind of surprised if it does, because like I said, things have pretty much panned out both with teams at home and on the road throughout the course of the conference season. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll be back with more right here on Wyoming Sports Talk today.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Why do we work all hours of the night? Head towards challenges instead of turning away. And work together to solve the toughest problems so you can enjoy the little things and all the big moments life has to offer. Tri-State and High West Energy. Brighter, stronger, better together.
In life, you question everything. The same should be true when it comes to managing your wealth. What are your investment recommendations based on? How much are you paying in fees? And how can those fees impact your returns? Charles Schwab encourages investors to get engaged and ask tough questions. To learn more, call the Schwab Cheyenne branch at 307-459-0998 or visit schwab.com/Cheyenne. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712. Winter driving in Wyoming. Are you prepared? Winter storms strike quickly across Wyoming's high plains and the mountains. When they do, driving conditions can deteriorate rapidly and become very challenging. Make sure your vehicle is ready for the elements and you have an emergency preparedness kit available. Driving on slick roads, always remember slower speed, acceleration, steering, and braking. Also turn off the cruise control and always buckle up. Ice and snow. Take it slow. Know before you go. For travel info, call 511 or online at wildroad.info. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds.
Come away with more than you expect with the new 2019 Kia Sorento. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and with Kia Sorento, you could leave the competition in the dust with a long list of standard features that are usually optional in more expensive rivals. Some available features include lane keeping assist, wireless charging, 8-speed automatic transmission, and 3-row 7-person seating. Come in today and see all that you can get for the money at Kia of Cheyenne. Call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
Emergencies can happen anytime, and Mars Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, available 24/7, is here to take care of them in the quickest possible manner. Mars Plumbing and Heating provides the highest quality service for all your plumbing and heating needs. So if you need bathroom remodeling or a commercial heating contractor for your latest building project, Mars Plumbing and Heating will provide you with the most dependable service at a reasonable price. You can always count on Mars Plumbing and Heating. Give them a call at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 43. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 28 and winds out the southwest at 10 to 15. On Thursday, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 49. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 28.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480.
We got more hoops to talk about, and that would be Region 9 hoops. But that'll be coming up here in just a few ticks of the clock with our LCCC Coaches Show. And on deck will be Brian Ortmeier.
Speaking of which as well, too, with LCCC, he did attempt to contact the new volleyball head coach, Carrie Coates. I did leave her a voicemail, have not heard back from her, but hopefully next week when we'll be back with Wyoming Sports Talk Today, we will introduce her to the Cheyenne audience and also to pick her brain on everything about the transition from College of Southern Idaho as the volunteer assistant coach up there to now head coach for LCCC in the women's volleyball program here in town. So again, hopefully we'll hear back from her and hopefully get to pick her brain at least next week.
Do you care that the Giants are beating Kansas City today?
Get out of here.
In Scottsdale, 15-1. Rockies are losing to the Angels. That is at Talking Stick. Just thought I'd throw it out there.
Does it mean anything? We've seen teams that are sub 500 in the post.
I see Charlie Blackmon's batting leadoff again.
Who cares?
I do.
Does it mean anything? No.
Arenado, after signing that big contract, went 0 for 3 today.
I guess he isn't worth the money then.
Hey, anyway, speaking of Nolan with that 8-year deal.
It was official late yesterday.
The Giants have had their second meeting in Las Vegas.
The hometown of one Bryce Harper, who is beloved out there at Sid City. But right now, all reports are showing, again, the decision is supposed to come the end of this week, whether it is going to be tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, who knows at this point. But right now, the interesting little thing that has come out of the Bryce Harper camp, or at least the rumor mill that has been spurring about, right now it's showing that it's down to the Giants, it's down to the Dodgers. The Phillies are right now.
They're prepared to sign him to a long-term deal, but I don't think he wants to go. I'm just saying he's weary of Philly.
It's amazing how a week ago we went from the Phillies were the front runners. It was guaranteed that Bryce Harper, or at least sort of it was pretty much good fortunes for the Phillies to sign Bryce Harper. Here we are now a week later, and now it's down to the Giants and the Dodgers, and it was where these two teams were kind of dormant in those talks, or at least they were still engaged in talks. But right now it's very interesting, and again, it does affect the NL West of what's going to happen.
Oh yeah,
if he does sign with either or at this point. Giants have come out, or at least recent reports and findings have seen that the Giants have offered him a 10-year.
That's what he was looking for. Both him and Scott Boras looking for their 10-year deal, obviously north of $300 million. So you have to look at least $32.5 million per year. So you're looking at it minimum $325 million contract. So again, where we've thrown out a number, $400 million. $40 million per year.
Like I said, that's chump change to the Giants. It's chump change to the Dodgers. Again, they can absolutely afford that money, afford that lengthy deal. But it is a situation of who will he sign with, and it's something that the Rockies have to worry about, and the rest of the NL West has to worry about of which team is he going to sign with, because it elevates both the Giants and it elevates the Dodgers.
Well, and look at this. If whoever gets them, the Giants or Dodgers, just for argument's sake.
We can only hope.
Yeah, and again, you and me being Giants
I don't think
fans,
the Dodgers need any more handouts.
Look what it's done for the West, the NL West, if the Giants or Dodgers secure
it's starting to put
Harper.
It's putting the West on the map of at least good landing
Arenado
spots.
for 8 years, and Machado, even though he's on a team that is still way from
it's maybe a few seasons.
They're still in the rebuild, obviously, and they're going to build around Manny.
Yeah.
And you get Machado, the top 3 free agents, and look at the monies that were spent between those 3. We're talking almost,
the only team that was not a good landing spot, or at least a team that was not attractive this year, was Arizona, where again the Diamondbacks just unloaded every piece.
Yeah, they fire-sailed some good ball players.
And again, they're obviously in the rebuild mode. But right now it is good news for the NL West. Not so much if you're a team, or at least fan of the Rockies or whoever, where again these big names are going to, but it does forebode kind of good things, good fortunes for possibly next season.
It will put a lot of eyes on the West this year.
Yeah, again, for potential free agents next year.
And again, even let's just say for you and me that the Giants do sign Harper, and that would be Friday. Hopefully, we would know.
Yeah.
The Giants have been pretty much quiet. Matter of fact, I was just looking at a box score. Gerardo Parra, they picked up free agents leading off today. But, they have been pretty much quiet throughout the course.
They haven't been quiet. It's been they picked up small entities, but it's nothing big. They
haven't had the big splash like they did last year with McCutchen/Longoria.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have been relatively quiet. The Dodgers have
been not quiet in the sense. Again, they've made moves. They picked up a lot of free agents, but it's no one big. It's
they also released
game changer.
They also released some talent as well. The Dodgers have released some talent.
Yeah,
but
they didn't land anything.
But they had a backlog of talent, and even through the farm. But their main crux was pitching. So if they don't land Harper, they're not going to be all that butthurt. You know what I'm saying? They've got enough talent to Muncie and Bellinger and Taylor, like I mentioned yesterday.
I think they will be hurt though if it goes to your rival, the Giants. Where
they're GM to the Giants.
Bryce Harper. Well, and that's his decision, and that's he left. But for the Giants, and for the Dodgers, again, if it's down to these two teams, what it's showing right now, it is for Bryce Harper. It elevates both of those teams into dangerous spots where even with the Giants, I think you add Bryce Harper to that lineup, it does put the Giants in that top three discussion right now of Rockies, Giants, and Dodgers. All three of those teams have a good chance in the West.
Playoff contenders in the West. But again, Harper hasn't signed. The thing that scares me, and again, we're getting close to the top of the hour. The thing that scares me right now, and I think if I was an owner of the team, you got Machado inked in for 10. Again, he's still young. You got Arenado inked in for 8. He's still young. And Harper, if he gets the 10-year deal, he's still young. He's 26. So he'll be 36 by the time the contract ends. However, think about this, too. The way these contracts are written, and Mad Bum already proved that to us when he got hurt on the ATV. He's lost for almost all season.
Well, that was him just being an idiot.
I know, but I'm just saying, now we're talking some serious dollars. If these guys break down, just for argument's sake.
And that's the gamble. That's a gamble you got.
That is exactly it. Luckily.
It's kind of like with Steph Curry and Golden State. Hey, we'll give you a lot of money, but, hey, his ankles have been an issue. You got to deal with it. Hey, you invest a lot of money into.
They play 82 games. These guys are expected to be in 150 plus
Giants have
games.
dumped a lot of money before, and they've gotten burned on it many a time.
Yeah, like Mark Melanson.
At least you could go to Cabrera. Again, there's a lot of names with the Giants.
I'm just saying, though, that's the chance you take.
Melky Cabrera with his steroid suspension.
But again, think about that, though. If one of those three guys happens to go down for an entire season, that's $30 million. Poof, gone.
That's the gamble you got to take. That's a gamble you got to take. That's
gambling the mortgage right there, as far as I'm concerned. All right. Well, we got to wrap things up here.
You don't even have money to gamble, so I don't even know what
you're
talking about.
And that's why you don't see me gambling. I wish I could. I don't have the cash. Anyway, we got to wrap things up here. We got to get ready for our LCCC Coaches Show, and we have Brian Ortmeier up first after these words right here on 1480 KRAE.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local. It's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
It is hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today, which is being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange. See my good friends Ray and Sidney Mefford and the entire crew with 2 convenient drive-thrus open Monday through Saturday. Chick-fil-A of Cheyenne. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations. Eastsiders, check them out at the corner of College and Pershing, and of course the original location on Vanda High. Medicare Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body ×2. The Auto and Truck Repair Center on Dunn Avenue, and the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday. Across the street, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. It is the home of Mondello's Pizzeria, Paisan cuisine at its best 7 days a week. Marv's Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue, and the program gets underway with our scoreboard, and it's all brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
NHL action for tonight. Toronto Maple Leafs at home. They'll take on the Edmonton Oilers. We'll also see the Calgary Flames travel to New Jersey to see the Devils. At Madison Square Garden, New York Rangers play host to Tampa Bay Lightning. The Colorado Avalanche at home at Pepsi Center will play host to the Vancouver Canucks. And last but not least, the Chicago Blackhawks travel to Honda Center to see the Anaheim Ducks. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
And a big slate of NBA games tonight. Rockets will visit the Hornets in the Spectrum Center. T-Wolves and the Hawks tonight in the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, GA. Wizards Nets in the Barclays Center. Warriors in the Heat. They will hook up at American Airlines Arena in Miami. At the FedEx Forum, the Grizz and the Bulls tonight. Trailblazers will visit the Celtics in the TD Garden at the AT&T Center in San Antonio. Spurs and the Pistons. Pacers, Mavericks tonight at American Airlines Center. Clippers and the Jazz in the Vivint Smart Home Arena in Salt Lake City. At the Golden One Center in Sacramento, Sacramento Kings and the Bucks will hook up. And as Nick mentioned, the featured game tonight? Question mark?
Well, there's
question
two.
Mark?
There's
question
two.
mark?
Huh?
Question mark?
Well, I'm just saying there's two ESPN games, and again, for the West Coast audience, yeah, you get to see the garbage that is New Orleans versus L.A.
It's who cares? And that will be at the Staples Center later on this evening.
Hold on. You're forgetting.
I forgot. There's
the rare Wednesday that we have a show.
There's collegiate action on tap for this evening at the AA. Joe Legursky's Wyoming Cowgirls looking to make it 10 straight. And they've got the Lady Bulldogs in from Fresburg, California. And in Fresno tonight, it will be the Cowboys who have...
They have no shot.
They've got 2 whole wins in the Mountain West Conference season, 6 whole wins all together. They will be taking on the Bulldogs in the central portion of California. We will be back after this word from Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step with you and 2 tacos at 2 a.m.
Order number 83. Come on, you're up.
This is the Pepsi that has mastered the art of the late-night munchies and is always down to dig into some deep dish.
Hey, we don't do deep dish, capiche?
Try telling that to Chicago. This is the Pepsi for po' boys, pulled pork sliders, and the godfather of all sandwiches, the Godfather. This is the Pepsi for street carts, anything a la carte, and is dying to make the leap into your grocery cart. Come on, take us home with you. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Let First Education Federal Credit Union help make buying your next car a breeze. At First Education, you get competitive rates and deal with friendly local folks. Be in control by getting pre-approved and know what you have to spend before going to the dealer. Call 432-7400, go to firstedfcu.com, or visit us in person at 120 West Carlson Street with approved credit, membership eligibility required, federally insured by NCUA.
Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI-FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local. Serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Larry Prowaddy along with Sunday Boy Nick Prowaddy as we are back with our LCCC Coaches Show, and as we always start off our program, ladies up first, and head coach Brian Ortmeier joining us on our program. First off,
again, LCCC Coaches Show today, not tomorrow, due to regional basketball, so that's why we had to move it up a day, because we still want to talk about the regional, at least Region 9 tournament with LCCC.
Which will have LCCC, the Lady Golden Eagles, hosting at the RAC, and we'll get to that here in just a little bit. First and foremost, the question that will come out of my mouth here is the update condition on Haley Anderson, who was injured about, 2-3 minutes before the end of your game. So where are we at with Haley?
I know she's still sore, but she's ready to go. She's been practicing pretty much full strength. She iced over the weekend, and I would say just looking at her, she's probably about at a 9 out of 10. I don't think she's completely fully healthy, but I would say based on watching her in practice, she's not really missing a beat. She's still shooting it really well and still moving around pretty well too.
And the good news for you is that, A, we're not playing tonight.
Yeah.
We're off that Wednesday, Saturday schedule, so you have at least a couple extra days now to prepare as you get ready for the Region 9 North tournament. So, again, those 2 extra days really mean a lot in a situation where somebody might be sore or banged up a little bit.
Sure, and I was actually at first hoping that we could have played on Saturday. It would have given us that extra day as well to give her just one more day of rest. But, again, everybody's kind of nicked up and bruised and beaten down this time of the year. You've got to be able to play through some of those types of things. I know she sprained her ankle back in September, October, kind of right before we got ready to go to Kansas to scrimmage, and she said it's still kind of been bugging her. So, again, those things never really go away until you get a chance to have a month or two off in the off season and really rest and recover. So it was nice having this extended break between, the Saturday game to Friday. Just gives you a couple extra days. Gave him Monday off, essentially. We watched some film and just gave him kind of that extra day to rest.
Explain that of how that happened, where you would have liked to have played it on Saturday, but according to bylaws, you had to play it on Friday. I mean, explain that, how that came about, where you didn't have an option.
Sure.
You had to play it here.
Yeah. You just pull up the bylaws, and sure enough, that's what they had in there. So they emailed it out to us on, I want to say it was Saturday night late or early Sunday. We got an email from the person that more or less kind of oversees the region, Mary Young out of Columbus, Nebraska, Central College out there, and it just had everything stated out. If you are in the South region, you have the option to play on the first or the second. And then in parentheses right behind it, it says the North will all play on the first. So didn't really have an option. We get to set the game time because we're the home team. But, it's kind of one of those weird things. I don't know why the South would have a different option than the North. The only thing that I can think about in terms of why the North would play maybe Friday is because of regionals and trying to play some of these at colleges. And so, again, we kind of give the high schools that option to play on Saturday in some of these college gyms. That's pretty much the only thing I can think of, or even from a competitive standpoint. If you had half the teams playing Friday and you had half Saturday, half of them get an extra day of rest. They get a chance to go up and scout the other teams. So there's some games you can play with that too. But again, it is what it is. We'll play Friday, and it's more or less the same thing as playing Saturday.
Or either there's just favoritism to Region 9 South, and that's what they have. But we need to find a way to get that amended or something where you do have that option for next season.
So in your third season now, and again, reviving the women's basketball program, you have the opportunity to host. And again, we'll kind of capsulize the season here a little bit. But again, you personally, and I guess with the ladies, especially practicing, knowing that they are at home, whether we draw 5 fans or we draw 500 fans on Friday, tell me, I guess, the reaction and the importance of being in the RAC.
Yeah, I know they were excited about having the home game. It's something that we talked about in the preseason, trying to finish in that top 4. And I think even more important was, more or less finishing in a tie for second, but also having enough tiebreakers to get the 3 seed. So when you start looking at cross-bracketing, you're not playing the number 1 seed in the South, the host team in the region tournament, home court, first round. So there's a lot of things that went with it in terms of finishing where we did. So again, I know the girls are excited about it. I know for us, again, it's such a different atmosphere when you play in the postseason. And I think a good comparison, I was at a high school game last night. There was a game down in Greeley, and the crowd was just unbelievable. I mean, they go on a run. It was Greeley Central. They go on this big run at the end of the game. They take the lead, and you could just see the other team was in shock, and the crowd was on them. It was just it was a wild atmosphere, and it's so different than the regular season games. And I think, again, even when you just compare our 2 trips to Trinidad last year, you go the first time, it was kind of a dead, quiet atmosphere. I want to say it was a Saturday game. We go back for the playoff game, and it's rowdy. They've got students up in the top. They've got their other teams. They've got people from town. A lot of the families come again because it's the end of the season. So it's a completely different atmosphere. And just knowing that we have that crowd on our side, that makes a huge difference, and it can really kind of spark your team.
Region 9 North this year, and again, we saw, me personally last year saw just a few teams that we played because we were competing in the southern bracket. But looking at teams top to bottom. And again, there was a nice sandwich in there between 2 through about 6, 7.
Yeah.
But I mean, this was a very competitive Region North 9.
Sure, and I think a great way to put it, too, is you've got Western Wyoming going over to Eastern, and they just beat them a week and a half ago. And that's a first round. That's a 2-7 game where the 7 seed actually just upset the 2 seed a couple weeks ago. So it hasn't been easy. Every team 1 through 8's been very competitive. Even the teams at the bottom haven't really haven't folded up shop. I mean, they've been very, very competitive and have battled to the end. But you're right. When we looked at it, we were kind of right in that mix, jumping from 2 to 5 to back to 4, and then finishing at 3. It's been a great region, and I know at least the North region has been a very competitive one this year. And again, whoever advances out of our region is going to be very well prepared to go to the national tournament.
We're talking with LCCC Lady Golden Eagles head coach Brian Ortmeier. Our LCCC Coaches Show being brought to you by Laramie County Community College.
There's a place where possibilities are boundless, where curiosity runs rampant, where exploration becomes opportunity. With Laramie County Community College, you can discover the best version of yourself. It's time to take on new challenges, to enrich your life, and to create the future you deserve. Your story unfolds. Laramie County Community College. Apply today. Visit lccc.wy.edu/yourstory.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
10 years ago, the Department of Defense selected High West Energy to provide electricity on F.E. Warren Air Force Base. For a decade, we have been proud to work hand in hand with the Air Force leadership to ensure we provide the base with the affordable, reliable power it needs to be an economic driver for the region and serve a vital national security interest for this country. High West Energy, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you. Cheyenne Urological has been the cornerstone of urinary care to Cheyenne and its surrounding communities for over 20 years, with doctors Bryant, Everett, Gajewski, and their highly trained staff providing top-quality treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence. Cheyenne Urological is now offering cutting-edge robotic surgery. So call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131 for compassionate, expert urinary care. That's 635-4131.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 43. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 28 and winds out the southwest at 10 to 15. On Thursday, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 49. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 28.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
LCCC Coaches Show, Lady Golden Eagles head coach Brian Ortmeier joining us. So, and for Cheyenne fans, former Cheyenne Central product Lindsey Farian will be down in town again, and I'm sure she'll have a lot of family out cheering her on, and those that make the trip down from Riverton. But let's tip our cap to the Lady Rustlers Saturday. Good game plan. And we also had a date of cold shooting, and as Nick has kind of dubbed your team Cardiac Kids throughout a lot of the season, your young ladies found a way to come back. But, looking at the Lady Rustlers, they may be a 6 seed, but they're not a pushover team by any stretch of the matter. These are one of these dangerous teams you get to play. Yeah, and they've got good talent. Them in Western Wyoming, they're not very deep teams.
but their top 2-3 players are just very, very talented. They're kids that can probably will wind up on the first team all-region for the North sub-region this year, I would assume. So, again, Burmeister does a nice job. The Lay 2 kid does a nice job. And then, again, the number 3, one of the guards they have, Paulina, she's
Tarawa.
Yeah, so, again, they're very top-heavy in terms of some of those players that they have. When those 3 are on and they get some contributions from their bench, they're a very dangerous team.
But also your team has that opportunity to wear them down. Yeah. And matter of fact, I know when the center kid went down and they brought in the 45, and she came in there, and she did beat you up inside, but when you ran, they wore down really quick.
Yeah, and that's something we've more or less have used the first 2 times against them. And I think it took a little longer the second game because they were able to save energy playing that 2-3 zone. So there's some things that, again, if they want to come at us with that same game plan, there's things that we've kind of adjusted to already that we'll have ready in case we see that again. Obviously, if they come at us with man-to-man defense, it's stuff we've used all season long, and we'll just get out and run. But again, we're going to throw some different wrinkles at them too. I felt like defensively we played pretty well to hold them to 60-65. But I went back and charted for sure the first 3 quarters and noticed that they, I think it was 38 of their 52 was point blank, just right at the rim. So we have to do a better job of keeping them away from the basket, making them have to work a little harder to get shots off, and make them play further away from the basket.
And looking back at the regular season series, you do have 2 games up on Central Wyoming going back to January the 16th at home with a 78-72 victory, and then again wrapping up the regular season on the road there at Riverton with a 71-65 victory against the Lady Rustlers. You've beaten them twice, but now you got to do it for one more time coming up again this Friday at home. We always have that adage with high school, but also too same with the JUCO products. It's always tough to beat a same team 3 times in a season, but with this situation again of how well Central Wyoming has kept within this, at least in this series, and how close they've played with your team, it's got to sit on the back of your mind of we got to play crisp basketball. This is not a rollover team that we can just go in and defeat coming up Friday.
Well, I think the biggest thing when you play Central Wyoming, specifically their team, is you have to jump on them early. They're a team that, again, if you trail first quarter, they're going to be able to slow things down. They're going to work the ball inside. They're going to work one possession at a time. Where when we've sped them up, again, that's where we get to those 18 to 25 point quarters, and we kind of get them running on their heels. But the 2 times that we've played them, we haven't done that in the first quarter. They've come out 2-3 zone both times. We've kind of sputtered against it in the first quarter, settled in, and then the second half we've basically gotten to a good rhythm where we could attack it and push in transition, and we're able to then play against them a little better. So for us, again, I think it helps, 1, having it at home, but number 2, knowing that we've made some adjustments that we can attack them a little better. Just getting out to a quicker start against these guys. So we can't let them settle in, chip away at us 2 points at a time. We're going to hopefully force them to have to make some tougher shots and have to shoot more threes and try and play catch up.
As you are into your 3rd season, not completing your 3rd season, we still have a lot more to to finish. I would think this is an incomplete season for you thus far, but the improvement, as we talked on our post-game show, the stair climb. But looking at right now, you sit at 18 wins this season. And 19 hopefully is in the offing here on Friday, and then maybe we catch a 20-win over in Scottsbluff as we move on. But I don't want to put the cart before the horse. But again, looking at 18 wins this year, and you kind of sit down and you kind of pen to paper. You're no different than us. Are you right on track for where you wanted to be this season?
I think so. Obviously, you want to win every single game if you can, but looking at it 18-11 to this point with the regular season behind us, I feel very proud of what the girls have done. I think, again, they can be very happy about what they've accomplished to this point. I think there's a couple that we left out there early in the season, but, again, you can't go back and get those. So, again, knowing some of the runs that we made in the conference play, knowing that we finished 9-5 in league play too, again, is a huge step forward, knowing that we played as well as we did when we hit the conference schedule, because that was kind of an area where we tripped up a little bit last year. We had a good non-conference schedule. We got into league play, got off to a hot start, and then kind of tapered off at the end. So knowing that the girls we battled really well all season, had good consistency from start to finish. outside of maybe just 2 small stretches, again, has been good to see this year. And, again, we're not done by any means. We want to make sure that we kind of keep that focus on this next game, and then, we'll see what happens and go from there.
In talking about last season where, again, it was kind of rough going heading into the Region 9 tournament. This season, though, again, where we go back to last Wednesday, you got the victory on the road against a very top team of Eastern Wyoming, a team that was at one point in time ranked in the top 25, getting the close victory on the road against Riverton. You got to imagine, though, for your team, nice little momentum to carry into this contest of, at least where you were talking off air with us, of what your team was doing this week. It sounds like emotions are a little bit better, a little at least happier environment there at LCCC with your team.
Yeah, we got into that stretch where I think we dropped 3 out of 4. So, again, knowing that we were able to kind of reverse that and flip the script in the last 4, winning 3 out of 4, and, again, picking up a big road win at Eastern. I think, again, just anytime you can go on a run into the postseason, you've got to be feeling that confidence start to fire back up. And that's kind of more or less, again, when we had that 5-6 game winning streak, you could really sense that with the girls that they felt like when they walked into the gym they were going to play well. And lost a little bit of that when we had that stretch with Casper, Sheridan, Eastern. But it seems like now we've kind of gotten that momentum back heading into this game on Friday.
You look at the kids this year, the young ladies on your team, and the vast improvements I've seen. Jakia Wells, the development of Jakia Wells, that she's turned into a really good 5 player, and she's a 4 at best. I mean, realistically, on the floor.
And again, you at least with Jakia Wells, but also to someone who's now got that starting role as well as Haley Anderson, who was not even in the starting role at the beginning of the season, who has been a phenomenal at least shooter again from behind the arc as well too. Again, a clutch 3-point shot.
And this drives what I'm saying. I look back at that comeback win. Then your leadership on the floor. Carly O'Brien calmly sinks 10 free throws in the fourth quarter. And again, it was an off shooting night for Courtney. It was kind of a little off for Gabby as well. But it seems like you've had pickups.
Yeah.
And as Nick mentioned, 2 big wins on against Eastern and as most recently with Central Wyoming. It seems like when one is down, somebody's there to pick them up.
Sure, and I know the first 2 kids that you mentioned there with Kia, I think the biggest thing for her was just really settling her into a spot where, again, she was going to feel comfortable. And we'd kind of used her as a 3-guard, 4-guard. We'd kind of played her couple different ways, kind of had used her a little bit as a 5. But I think once we locked her into that main 5 spot, that's what you're going to do. This is what you're going to work on this year. Again, she was really able to just develop and grow at that one spot. Same thing with Haley once she was able to kind of get that spark. And, again, some players, it's tough for them to come off the bench. They get used to being in rhythm as a shooter. And I think, again, having her being able to insert her to the lineup, I want to say she ended the regular season leading the sub-region in scoring, just in conference play. So to see her go from – 6th man essentially off the bench to leading the region in scoring, that's a huge accomplishment for her as well.
You said something that was very interesting, and I remember we talked during the summer when we were hoping that Jakia would come and play, and you were sizing up your team for the season. And at one time, realistically, by size standards, you're 4 guards and a forward on the floor throughout the course of a basketball game.
Yeah, and again, when you asked me about how we felt the regular season went, and I think it's a heck of a year when, again, we go 18-11, and we did it more or less playing a forward at the 5 spot, where we were able to essentially maximize all 5 positions to be able to go battle against some kids that are 6'2", 6'3", and it have given us troubles at time. But again, across the board, it's been a fun year. Girls have worked extremely hard, and again, hopefully we carry that momentum over.
Well, the year continues on again Friday as we'll carry that basketball contest again with the women. LCCC as they play host to the number 6 seed Central Wyoming Lady Rustlers. Visual only for us here on 1480 KRAE, which is Periscope, which you can find at Nick Weil Sports on the Twitter side and also, too, at the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel.
We do want to take this opportunity, too. What do we have on Periscope? Well over 2,000.
I think in total over 2,600 viewers for the final regular season game to watch both LCCC men and women pick up their final regular season wins.
So, again, thank you to those folks. And again, Coach, we wish you all the best. Coming up on Friday evening, we'll see you out at the rack.
Sure. And one last thing, $1 admission on Friday. And, again, it's going to be a whiteout. I believe if you wear white, you get in for free. Otherwise, admission's $1. And I know, again, they're handing out T-shirts and stuff at the game as well. So look forward to it, and thanks, guys.
All right, sounds good. Brian Ortmeier, head coach of the Lady Golden Eagles. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll talk with Jason Ficca, head coach of the LCCC Golden Eagles. They'll be on the road for their first playoff encounter. We're back after these words here on 1480 KRAE.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
For over 50 years, Capital Lumber Company has offered a full line of hardware and lumber selections. Plenty of materials, even for the do-it-yourselfer. So talk with one of the many experts today at Capital Lumber Company. Capital Lumber Company is the best in the region, and they are your true value hardware store. Lumber One in Cheyenne. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue.
Totally transformed, the new 2019 Kia Soul has an eye-catching exterior with an interior to match. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and the new 2019 Kia Soul has more to choose from, like available cool ventilated seats or heated seats for winter comfort. Kia Soul also has available technology like UVO, voice command navigation, automatic temperature control, and smart key with push-button start. Come by and compare Kia Soul today at Kia of Cheyenne or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. How about these radio specials heard only right here? Dos Equis Amber or Lager or Beers of Mexico. 12-pack of 12-ounce cans or bottles, $13.59. Seagram's 7 Crown Canadian Whiskey, 1-liter bottle, $12.99. And Rum Chata Cream Liqueur, 750 milliliter bottle, $16.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low price leader. Check out this simple math equation. Add new games with new fun, and it equals new ways of winning at Wyoming Downs. Check out the newest simulcasting games on display today featuring Great American Buffalo, Midnight Wolf, and Kiss Me I'm Irish to go along with more exciting simulcasting games in play. Remember to get your player's card to enjoy triple points on Sundays and double points on Mondays. Also Fridays and Saturdays, play Mystery Moolah. Plus check out all of the other promotions going on every week at Wyoming Downs with 2 locations to have fun in the Cheyenne Plaza at 3617 East Linkaway and at the Outlaw Saloon at 312 South Greeley Highway. For more information, go to wydowns.com. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Hello, this is Pastor Nathaniel Ensley with Blessed Hope Baptist Church in Burns, Wyoming, and I would like to invite you to listen to our weekly broadcast entitled Hope for Today, right here on 1480 KRAE, every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Our goal during each broadcast is to bring you a simple and short Bible truth that will be a help to you. Sure hope you can tune in. God bless you.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to our LCCC Coaches Show. We have Jason Ficca, head coach of the Golden Eagles. And, Coach, we know where you are going to be heading this weekend in your first-round playoff game, but I want to talk about that same venue that you're heading back to.
It's familiar road trip. It's like we just did it.
Where you were there on Saturday, and you had a very short turnaround getting ready for CWC after what was not a good effort at Eastern by your team, but it was almost like the cards were laid out on the table, and these guys responded, reacted, and they put together, I thought, a complete 40-minute game.
Yeah, well, I think we exercised some demons on Saturday, definitely, and on both ends. the margin of victory, 33 points. You can look at the stats and say, well, that's just because you shot it so well. Well, we gave up 38% for the whole game, and slightly better in the second half than the first. I think we were 38.2 in the first half and 37.8 in the second. So the defense was good enough to win. We could have gone 10 for 29 from the three, basically minus 30 points, and still won the game by 3 and said it was a great defensive effort, a defensive win. So the hot shooting really just made it a blowout, but the other parts of the game is why we won.
Well, in something with you, Coach, you discussed even before the Christmas break it's not what we're doing now, it's what we're doing at the end of the season. And I think that game at Riverton where, again, we saw a complete team, a complete game effort by LCCC where, again, the offense is basically what we said, or at least I did on that broadcast of, hey, this is a team we've been waiting for. Well, it came at that perfect time, hopefully, where it exploded here, at least to get that final regular season game. And now, hopefully, that momentum carries into this first round where you see this team once again up there in their home gym.
Yeah, we've played Central twice and split with them, but I think for close to 70 minutes of the 80 minutes of those two games, we'd been the better team as far as outscoring them. So minus a really bad 10, 12 minutes at our place the first time we played them, we've been the better team. And so, our guys have pretty good confidence. We've had a decent week of practice here. It's kind of a long week. We're used to playing on a Wednesday, and we had a really good workout yesterday. And our feeling walking off the court was, we usually have good workouts on Tuesday because we're used to playing on Wednesdays. Today we pretty much just scrimmaged a lot. We didn't really work on anything tactically. We just scrimmaged the things that we've been working on the last couple of days. We've been fine-tuning defensively what we're doing. Added a new wrinkle offensively just to keep the guys engaged. That gave them something new to work on this week. So we take tomorrow off. Normally Thursdays is the day after a game for us, 1, and then 2, we have a lot of class conflicts on Thursdays. So Thursday's usually a really light day for us, and we'll stick with that and then come back and practice Friday and head up Friday afternoon.
You look back on that win on Saturday, and I'll harp on it just simply for the fact, you went 20 of 29 from the outside, but every one of those looks from the outside, and this is a credit to the team and whatever magic was waved by you and Coach Salisbury, those 20 of 29 shots were wide open looks where the guys calmly buried it. And I think that has to be the shot in the arm to this team that, hey, when you're open, that biscuit will fall in the basket.
Yeah, it's a good gym for us to shoot in because it's similar in layout and size to ours, a little bit bigger, a little bit roomier, but the rims had a good feel. We as coaches, we pay attention to these things and talk. We don't talk really to the team about it, but our gym has really an unnerving sound on the rim when you it used to be worse. It used to be our rims were really hard, and when you hit it, it was a loud clank, and it really could subconsciously mess with you. Western Wyoming is kind of like that now.
Yeah. So from clank it goes to clunk, right?
Yeah, and so but those had nice, soft, quiet rims and friendly confines. So it was a good shooting gym for us, and I think we had spent a couple days really emphasizing that we were going to try to basically go through either Courtney Dean or Mateo Zovko in the post, that we really want to try to isolate one or two of those, one or the other of those guys in the post. And I think that took some pressure off of Tyrese Potoma. He was able to just let it fly. Now, it didn't turn out that we attacked them any different than we normally do, but going into the game, that was our plan. And as it turned out, we ended up attacking them just the way we always do, really. But I think that took some pressure off of Tyrese especially, and you saw him out there, launching some pretty deep balls, and then it became infectious for everybody to jump up with confidence and make it.
We also saw the transition game, and really, if I'm not mistaken, Coach, I think this was probably the game that you had the most transition buckets. One, Mateo Zofko comes to mind, where he took off a lot, and whether it was Daequan or Tyree spotting them down court, and you got a lot of easy layups and even a couple of dunks out of that.
He got 6 or 8 really easy points. I think he got 2 or 3 layups and got fouled and got 2 free throws on the other. So that was really, and those were all in the first half. And we've struggled this year to get those easy buckets, easy putbacks and transition buckets. It's not been what we've really been great at. So it was much needed then. But statistically speaking, Central Wyoming allows, I think the most points in the conference. So, we've got to maintain that same confidence. Feeling like they're going to defend better than they did the last game, but still, their true colors show that they allow a lot of points. So we've got to get our points and then hold them.
Is there any worry where, again, you saw them past Saturday there at Riverton, got that big victory to end the regular season, now have to head back up again Saturday to their place in the playoffs? Is there any worry about seeing a team again at their home spot a week later where, hey, you put up 33 on them, you embarrass them there on sophomore night, and walking into a potential ambush that your team's a little too overconfident against the Rustlers?
Yeah, we did the same thing last year. We ended the regular season at Lamar with a win and then had to go turn around and go right back a week later for the first round of the tournament. In a tie, same thing, tie for that. Then it was a tie for third, and we actually got the 5th seed in the 3-way tie. Didn't work out last year, but I don't think it was because of that, the back-to-back nature of it. Just Lamar was a strong team, and Lamar had a chance a year ago to really see how to attack us, and they did a great job the second time around with a week to prepare. So, we'll see. We'll see if Central's got a better chance to attack us, figure out how to attack us. But we're a much different team defensively than last year, and offensively much different than last year. I think we're harder to score on overall, so they can change up their attack somewhat. But we're gonna be difficult, I think.
Looking at the Region 9, and I asked Brian this here just recently when he was on, and again, the big bunching. 3 through 7, so to speak, in your division, 1 and 2, Sheridan along with Casper. Yeah, they pretty much, motorboated away from the rest of the pack. However, the LCCC Golden Eagles, gave Sheridan a lot of problems at the rack. You also were very competitive with Casper at the rack, where they were a little nervous there for a while. But looking at this conference, pretty good basketball all the way through. Northwest at times also showed some poise, but this was a really competitive conference.
Yeah, it was. I think us and Eastern Wyoming moving to the north strengthened the conference with Little Bighorn and Miles dropping out. The 2 Montana schools, Eastern Wyoming, and one of the things that really made it a really strong conference season is Eastern Wyoming's improvement from a year ago. I think in the previous 3 years they'd won 1 conference game in 3 seasons. Well, they're markedly improved. If their record were a little bit better, I would give them the Coach of the Year honors there. So. But it's hard seeing what Sheridan and Casper did to not honor one of those 2 coaches. But from an improvement from last year, there's no doubt Eastern Wyoming is really improved, and that's helped make our whole conference a lot stronger.
Kind of size up your team headed into at least Region 9 tournament with the first round. We know, again, limited bodies. Kyle Cab's probably not going to be there for this contest, but give us overall health of the team of. Are we going to have enough bodies to survive another road trip up to Riverton?
Yeah, we've only got the 8 healthy bodies. And last Saturday, Cam Vinsel was questionably healthy. He'd had some sort of stomach flu or something on Friday and was pretty weak on Saturday. Did play a couple minutes, but he feels fine this week. So of the 8 bodies, everybody seems to be healthy. The sick person is Coach Salisbury. He's now at home with some kind of stomach thing, and throwing up and that nastiness. So hopefully it doesn't continue around the team and hit anybody else before we get to Saturday's game. If it's going to hit anybody, I'd hope it hits me, and I'm the miserable one.
If not,
you're miserable all the time.
I was saying, patient zero. You know who to blame, if anything.
Let me ask you this here real quick, Coach. We've had numerous chats this season, and and Nick and myself, we were talking about all the games that we did this year. It's a 12-win season to this point, but realistically, the way the team performed, and then aside from a few minutes in the second half, I mean, we could actually flip that that regular season and that overall season record around. But I mean, looking back on the season, there was good, there bad, and ugly, but it looks like. With the win on Saturday, and I might be wrong this one, it looks like a lot of things got corrected this weekend.
Yeah, like I said, I think we exercised some demons, and then the mood in practice in the gym has been much better. And for me and for everybody, Sunday, I woke up just with it seemed like the weight of the world was off my shoulders, and I think that was true for all of us. So, overall, 12 wins is. It's below standard for us, but we did finish in the top half of the standings. That's always something we try to do, and we take pride that we've done that for 10 straight years now. And I'm really going to probably reserve judgment on this team until this time next year. This group, I wish that I could sit there and at this point say, yes, this was a great season. This is a successful team. It's hard to do so at this point, but I think we're still a work in progress, and I really think that if we can keep this group together, it'll be hard. Some of these, a couple of these freshmen or qualifiers are getting recruited pretty hard. If we can keep all of these freshmen together for sophomores next year, look out.
It's a freshman.
We might be a top 25 team.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a freshman class that's been tested this entire season with top 25 teams, whether it's Snow College, against Sheridan, the Caspers of the world, Western Nebraska.
Throw in a North Platte who's like 22-4 on the year and getting votes. So we've had, what is that now? I think 10 of 30 games against teams that are ranked or receiving votes in the national poll. So we've had our baptism by fire, and hopefully the rest of this season we can extend it and then carry that on to next year and be a front runner in this thing.
Coach, we wish you all the best up in Riverton, and unfortunately we can't be with you. Can't be two places at once, but again, we'll be thinking about you, and hopefully another victory, and hopefully the same type of victory that you had this past weekend. We're going to take a timeout. We get a chance to talk to Daequan Spragion. He will be joining us here after these words on 1480 KRAE. Coach's Show brought to you by Laramie County Community College.
There's a place where possibilities are boundless, where curiosity runs rampant, where exploration becomes opportunity. With Laramie County Community College, you can discover the best version of yourself. It's time to take on new challenges, to enrich your life, and to create the future you deserve. Your story unfolds. Laramie County Community College. Apply today. Visit lccc.wy.edu/yourstory.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. They have a 16-month CD at an annual percentage yield of 2.33% and a 27-month CD at an APY of 2.74%. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in Bow, Cheyenne, and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned, full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 43. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 28 and winds out the southwest at 10 to 15. On Thursday, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 49. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 28.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. I like this because we're going to get the official pronunciation. And again, I feel bad for him now because, I was told two different ways how to say it. And again,
I asked him in Scotts Bluff against Western Nebraska. I thought I had it correct on the first time, and then we got told another way after that game of how it was supposed to be pronounced. It's like, no, I got it from the direct person.
And again, our Paisan name Proetic, I mean, that gets butchered all the time. But say it. Daequan?
Daequan Spragion.
Spragion.
I got it.
Yes.
So, and guess what? I'm not with you guys this weekend, so it doesn't help me right now. All right, well, anyway, Daequan, we're glad that you joined us here, and we also get this opportunity to talk to the guys on the team as well as the ladies over on the Lady Golden Eagle side. Tell us a little bit about your season thus far. It was up and down, and you were a role player first. Now you're the starting point guard. Tell us a little bit the highs and lows that you've had this season.
It's definitely been a learning experience because I felt like we could. I know it could, like I heard you a minute ago saying like the record could be reversed. I feel like that also. Like I felt like we let a lot of games go, but it's a learning experience for everyone.
And we'll tell you to get close to that mic there for us so we can hear you on that one. But at least for you, Daequan, coming in from Brooklyn, New York, all the way to Cheyenne, Wyoming, obviously a massive difference, at least of culture between the two. But talk to us how you got recruited to come play out here for LCCC.
Actually, the point guard that was here, Zaire, last year, we kind of had like a mutual coach. So then that's how he hooked it up like that.
Now, so know that Zaire has moved on to at least with Northern Illinois.
Yes.
Do you still kind of keep in contacts with him? Does he tell you how it works, kind of like in D1, kind of almost like in a mentor way?
I haven't really got a chance to talk to him a lot, but I sure will.
Looking at, as I was talking with Coach, and again, we saw the South last year and we saw the North. And you can relate to this. We saw some really good basketball talent. I mean, again, you're part of the world, great basketball.
Yeah.
But I mean, out here there was some good hoops.
Yeah, it was good to get to play against guys in the top 25, and it's good to see that we could compete with them. So that was good to see that.
What did you learn this season, especially that's different from high school? What was the main difference for you, especially at the point when you're out there?
Just the speed of the game. I noticed that the speed of the game was a lot. I found myself being tired, winded a lot too, playing a lot of minutes. So just the speed of the game.
Well, and something we also point out on a lot of our broadcasts as well, too, where, again, not so much that you're undersized, but, again, there are a lot of big players in Region 9 North or South where, again, you're going up and competing, but it does not faze you. We've seen you at least dish up to the hoop, drive on inside. But, I mean, does that sit in the back of your mind of, wow, I got to take on these kind of aircraft carrier type of people. Hopefully I can break on in between them or something.
I mean, I've been this size all my life, so, you know, I'm kind of used to it. But you know, I definitely got to get stronger to be better next year.
You know, and Nick made a good point, and I really liked Zaire's play last year, and there are times that you remind me a lot of Zaire. You know, at the point, and you look at a guy like me, I'm slow, I'm 110 years old, okay? But how do you see that opening? I mean, when you get that little break to go right down the lane, and again, like you said, there's some big old aircraft carriers waiting to swat you away, but I mean, you got that little slithering hole to sneak through. How do you know the right time to go through?
I guess just having a feel for the game and using my speed. So if I see a lane, I know I could get it. I could get it through there. But it's just a matter of finishing though over the taller guy. So.
And he's certainly been doing it, at least in the recent contests that we've seen with the men. Again, just putting up some phenomenal numbers for LCCC. Just give us a little background. Obviously, going here to study as well too here at LCCC. What's your major right now?
I went the general studies route, so my major is liberal arts. I kind of didn't know what I really wanted to do, so I went.
That's probably
that's a smart thing to do.
That's the best route in JUCO. Again, of just get the easy ones out of the way and then focus on what you want to do.
What's the future hold for you?
Hopefully getting the opportunity to play at the next level. You know, growing up, I had a goal of playing D1, so that's a goal of mine. So hopefully, I can make that happen.
Do you have a preference of, you know, say Wyoming came calling and said, hey, we want you to come play for the Cowboys, or are you looking to get back kind of towards like that East Coast or around New York area?
It'll be nice to get back to the East Coast, but it's really no preference though. It's really no preference.
You know, we always ask the guys' favorite NBA team. Don't tell me the Nets.
No.
I would hope not.
Thank you.
I actually stopped watching the NBA a lot. I'm more a college basketball fan, so I watch a lot of college basketball. I don't really have a favorite team.
Any favorite player possibly that you?
Yeah, my favorite player is Jamal Crawford. Everybody say that's different, but
it is definitely
different.
It's absolutely different.
There's nothing wrong with being unique. It's different from the Steph Curry's or Klay Thompson.
LeBron,
So let's go here. You know, one of the things that for freshman guys, and you're going to be playing like your 30th game or 31st game this season, 30th game. You know, high school, we don't play that many games. I mean, did you start feeling it there towards the end that, man, this season's on forever?
Yeah, definitely. I started to feel it, but that's when taking care of your body and everything like that comes into play. So it's definitely different from high school.
You know, you look back on that game, and I was really proud of you guys. That was a fun one for me to call, especially. And I was waiting for you guys to wake up out of that coma and play some good basketball. You've been with these guys all season long. I mean, when you're on the floor, do you feel that kind of vibe? And again, you got guys on the side there, like, you know, Kyle was on the side and Hunter was there, and they're cheering you on. Did you guys just feel it on the floor, that emotion?
Yeah, we felt it. I felt like everybody was having fun. We played free, and when everybody's having fun, you know, it's always better to be out there instead of, you know, when we're losing the game. Everybody's moping around and stuff, so it definitely felt good.
And you know, it sucks to go on the road again. You got to go back up there, but I mean, you know, you've played these guys like Coach said. You know, 70, 80 minutes this season. 70 of it, you're kicking them, you know, up and down the court. I mean, do you feel pretty good going back up there?
Yeah, we feel pretty good. Like, we see what we're capable of doing. We just gotta finish games. That been the biggest thing this season, just finishing out games.
Now for you again, coming all the way from the East Coast there, Brooklyn, all the way to Cheyenne, Wyoming. You've been out here for quite some time, a few months at this point in time. Yeah. A lot of basketball has been played. Any homesickness that has kind of crept up for you, or at least anything? Obviously, not a lot to do here in Cheyenne compared to the big lights of New York.
It's just some of those days where you're like, oh man, but not really. I enjoy my time here. It's been different, new things.
No, I also like commenting on different things of the game, and I like the shot that you take. You like to throw the knuckleball. How did? and again, I mean, the thing is just it doesn't spin. How did you learn that shot? Because again, guys are doing this and it's got rotation. Yours is a knuckleball.
Everybody was laughing at that. We was watching film and we was watching the broadcast and he was like the knuckleball, so everybody was laughing about that. But
I mean, how do you get it to not spin?
I'm not sure. As long as it goes in, I'm fine.
That's all. Yeah, that's all we care about. As long as it's falling.
As long as it's falling, I'm cool with it.
Well, Daequan, we do want to thank you, man, and I'm glad that you are playing for the LCCC Golden Eagles, and I hope you're wearing that Golden Eagles for your sophomore season because again, you guys, this freshman group, you guys are really a good group, and you laid it on the floor the other night.
And have a chance to do again something special here in the playoffs, and then something special next season too.
You guys are going to be a lot of fun to watch, and again, hopefully you'll continue on here. So good luck to you on Saturday. Appreciate you dropping by. All right, we're going to wrap things up here. This today is going to be our last day for the Golden Age Radio Theater because we're going to be in high school playoffs tomorrow. So from 8 until 9, we got Sherlock Holmes ×2, and then we have from 9 until 10, we will have for you Suspense Theater. Tomorrow, Hoops, beginning at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
With the ladies, as we'll be over at the Thunderdome, as we'll have.
It's not you, it's me and Chris Polton who will be live over there.
I might actually go over there and watch a game.
I highly doubt that. Either way, though, myself and Chris Polton live on the radio.
Take a nap then.
Live on the radio side, 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480 KRAE.com, where we will bring you Class 4A regional tournament. Again, only girls live from the Thunderdome with Cheyenne East, Cheyenne South, and Cheyenne Central. Again, 3 o'clock, 4:30, and 7:30.
And don't forget the guys will be over at Story Gym. All right, going to wrap up the program right now.